heaven, turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. Hey, play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. Tell me we don't live in hell. My brother doing 55 in that cell. Nigga claiming he your round here spin shell. Same nigga you put on to hit the stand and tell. How the fuck you turn your back on a nigga that love you? Treat your kids like my kids, treat you like a brother. I told my dog, let's leave the streets to serve the most high. He said, fuck that shit, he trying to sell another pot. His daddy killed him, put him in the trunk, set him on fire. His wife was pregnant, he ain't never get to see his child. Had me thinking to myself, what happened if I die? Look my babies in the eyes, I gotta stay alive. I put my ego on the shelf and my pride to the side. I'm with some niggas who gon' step and got God on their side. Got in the ISUPK, they keep asking me why. As I do the work of the Lord, I gotta stay alive. Face the east, pray alive. I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. Hey, play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
You ever pump a pack with a snake by your side? Yes, I see a man reach out to God before he died. Yes, I did. I know the Lord forgive us for these sins, but I'm starting to think the kingdom of heaven is for these kids. I told my daughter, there's one man in your bed, I won't stand for less. For my son, I hit your head on that fragile legs. I lost some niggas to that dope, I lost niggas to the feds. Remember Jono tried to stick me for that cheese on that bread, yeah, I was thugging with Lucky and that nigga left me for dead. Endure to the end, cause I listened to what was said. Mother told me she loved me when she was sick up in the bed. I was running them streets, but the truth made me a man. Shit, I don't really speak cause she'll never understand. That's why I ain't even tell her about these voices in my head. I'm still trying to manage my anger like Uncle Craig.
I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
Got you. Let it vibe real quick. Look. The city eyes, it's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation voltage to fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. We told it in the avalanche, way above average. Vince taste sweet, told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Child become a man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evans through a mall quad, telling me how them crackers turn this child into a ghost town. Focus out, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really see profits under this banner. Make my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo, spirit Asian, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Wardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Hate me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. round with Yara down. Just left the state bridge, looking for a bitch better than Baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
Oh, damn. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shemiel Shai Barak Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Thumb by Shemiel Shai to the sisters. Priest Officer Parak holding down Sabbath service for the ISUPK out of Arizona. If y'all watching online, we got class every Tuesday through Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, we hold our Sabbath service at 11 a.m. We located right off of the corner of 28th Drive and Cactus. The address is 12416 North 28th Drive, Phoenix, Arizona, 85029. We're in suite number 4. All right. If y'all in the Phoenix area, Phoenix metro area, greater Phoenix area, make sure y'all come get down with us. All right. Come attend these classes. Today, what we're going to be getting into, of course, this being a Sabbath service, we're going to be getting into a continuation from over the last couple of weeks. We went into the initial giving of the 10 Commandments, and then, of course, just what happened directly after that. What we're going to find out today, right? What we're going to read today is the Most High giving the children of Israel instructions and directive on how to obtain His protection. Which, if y'all watching online, you can see the title of today's Sabbath service is "How to Earn the Lord's Protection." The simple answer to that, right? How to earn the Lord's protection. The simple answer to that is just obedience to the Lord, right? But we're going to go in depth today, and we're going to find out what the Lord requires for Him to give you His protection. I always go back to this before we get started. I always go back to this, right? That the Lord is a father, all right? And with the Lord being a father, He operates like a good father does. So a father offers protection. He offers guidance, right? And all of those things. In exchange for, you just have to submit to that protection and to that guidance by following the directives, the orders of your father, right? If you take it just on a carnal level, right? A father, a dad, a fleshly father is going to set up rules in his household. And in order for you to get, let's just say, you get to have that TV because your father made sure that you had that TV in your house. You get that game system, your father made sure that you had that game system. Or whatever the case, the freedom that you have to be able to go outside and play with your friends. You get all of that as a privilege from your father only if you follow your father's rules. If he tells you to take out that trash, you got to take out that trash. If he tells you to wash the dishes, if he tells you to clean your room, if he tells you got to do this, that, and the third, you got to get these good grades. Whatever the case, in order for you to have your father's protection and guidance, you have to follow it. So that's the same way that the Most High operates. And the Lord has given us, as we've been reading in the past few Sabbath services, He's given us direction and guidance by giving us laws, statutes, and commandments. And with us following those laws, statutes, and commandments, the Lord will give us the guidance and that protection. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll read that. We'll get into it. But before we do that, we'll open up Sabbath service with the prayers. Majim, which means to stand. Panyahagwadam, which means to turn to face the east. All right, we're gonna open up with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Lacham, Kal Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kal Wath Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kal Wathi Nawa, Wala'ah, Dabiyah Nawa, Wanasai 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wathapara, Laiwalamyum, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. We're going to read the prayers for the power of the Hakak in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baba Kushai, Nathan Nawa Hakak, Hakak Larapa'ah, Kal Maka'ala, Wakal Madawa, Hakak Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lakwayam, Hamathyam, Hakak, Al Rakawa, Hatama'ala, Lagar Shun, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. The prayers for the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. These are the prayers to bless Israel. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Wa'yasha'ala, Wahabayat Saparyam, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. Prayers to bless Israel in English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Psalms the 121st chapter in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharyam, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Izarya, Ma'im, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Ba'aratazah, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shalmar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yanyanka, Yawamam, Ashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarach, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai, Awalam. Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'ala shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms the 83rd chapter in Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Dama Yalaka, Al-Thakarash, Wa Al-Thashakwat, Al-Kayana, Awayabyaka, Yahma Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Imaka, Yarayamwa, Sawada, Wayatha, Yaitazawa, Altazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, Laba, Yakhadwa, Alyaka, Baryat, Yakarathwa, Ahalya, Adawam, Wayashamayalayam, Mawa'aba, Wagaryam, Gabal, Waimalan, Slaki, Waimawan, Waimalak, Palashad, I'm Yeshabia, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarwa, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadyan, Kasaya, Sara'a, Kayabyan, Banachal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayan, Dara, Ayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayathamwa, Nada, Yamawa, Ka'ira, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabak, Wakazazal, Mana'ai, Kal, Nasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nairashah, Lanawa, Ath, Na'awath, Allahayim, Allahayim, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Ka'ash, Sabaira, Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Salahat, Haryam, Khan, Tharadakma, Basa Iraka, Wabasa, Wapathka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ayai, Wayahaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya Atha, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kal, Al Rataza. Psalms the 83rd chapter in English. Keep not thou silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
And be not still, O God.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Yasharallah
That the name of Yasharallah
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against
They
thee.
are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom,
the Ishmaelites,
the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the
and
Hagarenes,
the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the
the
Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of
with
Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Saul also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Go to them as unto the Midianites.
as to Sisera,
As to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kasan,
at the brook of Kasan,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung before the earth.
Make their nobles like a red,
Make their numbers like a red.
and like Zaid.
And like Zaid.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Abba,
all their princes as above.
and as Amunah,
And as Amunah,
who said,
who said,
let us take to
let
ourselves
us say to ourselves,
the houses of God
the houses of God
in possession.
in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as the stubble before the wind,
As the stubble before the wind.
as the fire burneth the wood,
As the fire burns the wood.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
As the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
Make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may see thy name.
That they may see their name.
O Yahweh,
Oh Yahweh.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish,
let them be put to shame and perish.
that men may know that thou,
The men that know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
of the Most High over all the earth.
We're going to read the blessings in the Hebrew. Barak atah Yahweh,
Barak atah Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh
Why
Shai,
Yahweh Shai?
Wa Ma'aka'Allah,
Why Yahweh?
Wa Alahayim,
Why Lahayim?
Matazab Ya'ah,
Matzah Tabahai.
Alawap Yahana,
Alawat Yahana.
Ha'alawapiam,
Halawat
Asaranya,
Asurani.
Akwatazayanya,
Apazas Zayin.
Achayayayam,
Apala Yayin.
Wahawathin,
Wahawati.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai,
Hashem Yahshai.
the Wadaman.
Water.
In English, bless you Yahweh,
Bless you Yahweh.
and Yahweh Shai,
And Yahweh Shai.
and Michael,
And Michael.
and the angels,
And the angels.
commanding General Yahana,
Command Yahana.
the generals,
The general.
the captains, the officers, the troopers,
Troopers.
and the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
thank you, so be it.
Thank you so good.
Sorry while you're shopping, you can turn to be seated. All right. Once again, we're going to continue on from where we left off last week. Which is We're going to read starting at Exodus, the 23rd chapter, and the 13th verse. All right, so we're going to start off at the 13th verse, read on to verse 20. We'll read those 7 verses in Hebrew. All right, we'll read those verses in Hebrew, and then we'll read them in English and break them down. We'll get some precepts and understand how we can earn the Lord's protection. All right. All right. Beginning with verse 13. Waya Bakal, Ashar, Amar Thaya, Al Yakam, Thashamarwa, Washam, Alahayim, Acharyum, La'a, Thazakaya Rawa, La'a, Yeshamai, Al, Payaka, verse 14, Shalash, Regalim, Fagag, it's like Fachag, Laya, Bashana, verse 15, Ath, Chaga, Hamatazawath, Thashamar, Shabaitha, Yamayam, Tha'akal, Matazawath, Ka'ashar, Tazawa, Yathka, Lamawa'id, Khadash, Abayab, Kayab, Bawa, Itaza'ath, Amatazaya, Tazayar, Yum, Wala'a, Yara'aw, it's like Yara'wa, Panya, Rayaquam, verse 16, Wakaga, Hakwat Tazayar, Bakawaryam, Bakawarya, Ma'aishayat, it's like a Ma'aishayak, Ashar, Tazarai, Bashada, Wakaga, Ha'asap, Bataza'ath, Hashana, Ba'asa Pak, Ath, Ma'aisha Shayak, Man, Hashada, verse 17, Shalash, Pa'aymayam, Bashana, Yara'a, Kal, Zakawarka, Al, Panya, Ha'adan, Yahweh, verse 18, La'a, Faza, Slagi, La'a, Fazabak, Al, Hamataza, it's like Hamataza, Dam, Zabakia, Wala'a, Yala Yun, Khalab, Khagaya, Aid, Bakwar, verse 19. It's like verse 19. Ra'ash Yan, it's like Ra'ash Yath, Bakawarya, Adamath Ka, Thabaya, Bayath, Yahweh, Alahayuka, La'a, Thabashah, Gadya, Bakalab, Amwa. So that was verses 13 through 19. That's 7 verses. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna read those same 7 verses, but we'll read them in English, beginning with verse 13. So this is Exodus, the 23rd chapter, and verse 13. It says, "And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth." So real quick, this is what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the Lord had just given the 10 commandments to the children of Israel. Those are the 10 commandments that the Lord had written with his finger on the tablets of stone. But the children of Israel were so afraid of the Most High because he came down with thunderings and with lightnings that they were afraid of the Lord's power. So they told Moses, I don't want to deal with the Most High face to face. You do that. You be the mediator. This is the children of Israel talking to Moses, right? You be the mediator, and the Lord will give you the commandments, and you just give us those commandments. because the children of Israel were so afraid of the Most High. Well, now we see the Lord now giving these commandments to Moses, and Moses is going to, of course, deliver to the children of Israel. So now what we're reading is just a good deal of the commandments, right? The Lord is just kind of give, like if we skip back up to Exodus 23:1 and say, "Thou shalt not raise a false report, put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause." These are all orders and laws that the Lord has given to the children of Israel. So now what we're doing, we're getting into the nitty gritty of these are the things that the Lord wants the children of Israel to follow and obey. All right. This is the commandments of the Most High. So as we continue down, where we're at now is verse 13, right? So this is the Lord. "And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect," meaning pay good attention, pay close attention to the things that the Lord has told us, "and make no mention of the name of other gods." That's one. Now remember, a couple weeks ago when we went over the 10 commandments, we went over the first of the 10 commandments is what? "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." The Lord seems to care quite a bit about the children of Israel worshiping other gods. And that's important. Remember, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about the fact that the Lord is jealous, and the Lord cares about what you as a as a child of Israel, right, as an Israelite, what you worship. The Lord cares about what you worship. So as we continue on, it says, "and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth." All right. As we go down, right, verse 14, it says, "3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread," which is, of course, is going to give a description, right? "Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month of Abib, for in it thou camest out of Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty." So we have the feast of unleavened bread. Verse 16 says, "And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labors." So that's the other feast. So you have 3 feasts. The first one is the feast of unleavened bread. The second one is the feast of first fruits. It says, "In the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. 3 times in the year all thy males shall appear before the Lord." Verse 18, "Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning." So these are the 3 feasts that the Lord cares about the most, because these ones you cannot miss. You can't miss these feasts. You have to, if you're a male, you have to attend these feasts and make a sacrifice at these feasts. All right. And we're gonna get to the point in just a minute. I just want to read all of this since this is where we at. Verse 19 says, "The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe the kid in his mother's milk." This is just another one of the commandments. Seething a kid in its mother's milk is taught like a Jewish people that are like that claim to be Israelites but are truly not. Those people that live in the land of Israel, Jewish people believe that this means that you can't eat a cheeseburger. Like they believe that seething a kid in its mother's milk means cooking a cow with the milk of another cow. And so they believe that means that you can't put cheese on a burger. All right. That's not what this is talking about. This is talking about seething a kid in its mother's milk, killing that animal, or eating that animal, that calf, or that veal that y'all can see at like a supermarket, eating that veal because it's still in its mother's milk, meaning it's still nursing from its mother. There's 2 things to understand about this, and we'll just do it real quick. So one, that veal, if we go into Leviticus, the 11th chapter, in order for you to be able to eat any of the animals that walk the ground, right? Talk about the calves. Talk about the cow. That's where you get your beef from, or anything like that, right? They have to chew the cud, and they have to divide at the hoof. Well, veal, while it's still nursing from its mother, they don't chew the cud because they're still nursing. So that's part of the reason why you can't eat that veal. And that's what this is talking about. It's not talking about cheeseburgers. All right. I just wanted to read that, break that down since we read it. But this what we want to talk about here, right, in verse 20. It says, behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. So while the Lord is giving these various commandments to the children of Israel, he then goes on to explain to Moses that the Lord is going to send an angel that's going to watch out for the children of Israel as the children of Israel go and claim their land. All of this exodus out of the land of Egypt is the children of Israel leaving this captivity, this bondage in Egypt, and going to claim the land that the Lord has set aside for them. That's why it's called the Holy Land, right? And through that process, the children of Israel, being such a small nation, are going to go up against many large nations. When we read Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, it talks about the fact that Israel is one of the smallest nations. And the Lord didn't choose us because we was a great and multitude of people, but because he had set his love upon us, right? So we are really a minority anywhere we go. And us coming up against these vast armies without the Lord on our side is just impossible or nigh unto. So the Lord said that he was going to send an angel to keep us in the way and to bring us into the place which the Lord has prepared. Verse 21 says, beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. So this is the Lord's protection. All right. That's what this. Now, this is actually an angel that was, that was keeping the children of Israel in the way, making sure that nobody could touch them. But part of that deal was the fact that the children of Israel had to obey the voice of that angel. And that's where we get into the topic of today's Sabbath service, which is how to earn the Lord's protection. Remember, I said at the beginning of this class that we had to, in order to earn the Lord's protection, the basic simple answer is obedience. All right, that's the basic simple answer. Now, well, of course, we'll get the precepts and we'll go a little bit more in depth, but that's the basic answer, is that in order to earn the Lord's protection, you have to be obedient to him. All right. Now, the Lord is telling us in this instance to be obedient to this angel. Why? Because the Lord said, my name is in him. All right. So now let's keep reading, right? It says, verse 22, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. And this is where we get into the meat of this class, right? Because let's get Proverbs the 16th chapter. This is where we get into the meat of this class, because now we're going to understand something. The Lord, people in the world have a misconception of what the Most High is. Most people don't realize the true and living God for what he is. A lot of times you let religion shape your idea of what the Most High is, and you put the Lord into some box. And this box is a box that you've created, and you put your own label on it, and you say this is what God is. But you can't do that. The Lord has already told you who he is. He put it all throughout this Bible. That's why the scriptures is called the word of the Lord, because the Lord has explained to you who he is, not only with his actions, but by telling us, by putting an understanding of who the Lord is in this book. Let's read it real quick. So Proverbs the 16th chapter. I'm gonna put it. Matter of fact, let's see if I can get it on the screen. That way, if you're watching online, you'll be able to see. How's this coming? So we're gonna read verse 7. All right. So this is Proverbs 16 and verse 7. It says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Now, this is important, because now what this is talking about is the fact that you get something for serving God. Like, you don't serve, like, the Lord is not a vain God to where now you serving the Most High with all your might and the Lord don't give you nothing in return. The Lord will reward you for your righteousness. All right. The Lord will absolutely reward. That's what we're doing in here. In the UPK, we're not just doing this for no reason at all. Of course, we owe our lives and we are indebted to the Most High. But there's something that we get out of this, and that is for us the kingdom of heaven. The Lord will, what we see here in the scripture, Proverbs 16:7, the most, when we please the Lord, when our ways please the Lord, the Most High will make our enemies to be at peace with us. And of course, now there's a million examples that I can show you in the Bible of this, and a million of examples I could show to you of this in modern day with us in the UPK. Our enemies are even at peace with us because our ways please the Lord. And that's what the Lord is trying to get brothers and sisters to understand through these scriptures, is that the Lord will be on your side and won't nobody be able to touch you. What we just read in Exodus 23 is that the Most High will become an enemy to our enemies and an adversary to our adversaries. That's what the Lord said. But only if we do one thing, which is obey the Lord. And that's it. And that's all we would really have to do. Matter of fact, let me see if this will come up on Blue Letter Bible. It might not. I'm gonna have to go to a different. I'll just have to read it. Because let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, yeah. Gotta go to the King James. So let's go to Judith, the 9th chapter. This is in the Apocrypha. All right, let's go to Judith, the 9th chapter. I'll pull it up on the screen. Now, what we're about to read is a prayer. I always bring this out. I love this. This is a beautiful understanding as to how you really supposed to pray to the Most High. Judith was a bad sister, man. This sister actually loved the Most High God. I think Officer Malak out of Kansas City, he actually taught a class on some of the righteous sisters that we had of accounts of in the Bible. I think he taught this a few days ago. All right. Let me see where we want to go. But this sister, man, Judith was a bad sister. And this is the thing about Judith. Judith understands the Most High. Before we read the rest of this prayer, because this is a long prayer, we're going to read just a portion of it to the point of today's class. But this sister understood how the Most High operates. And that's another thing that you need to be able to do. The Lord put himself in this Bible to show you how the Lord operates. And that's going to help you understand how to serve the Most High, because Christianity can't explain to you how to serve God, because according to Christianity, all you have to do is come to church on Sunday, give 10% of your money to that church, plus whatever offerings. And what do they call it? They call those the free will offerings. What do they call those? The goodwill, whatever the hell they want to call them. They want you to give all your money to the church. Go to church every Sunday, maybe, them Bible studies on Wednesdays, and jump up and down when the music come on, and scream when that music come on, and fall out. The pastor's going to hit you with his coat, and you're going to fall out, and that'll make for good footage, and that'll make for good entertainment for everybody else. And they'll say, well, the Holy Spirit is on this church. That's what the Christian church is going to make you to believe that serving God looks like. Now, true righteous brothers and sisters in the times of old that are recorded in his Bible understood what it meant to serve the Most High. And it's none of that. It's none of what Christianity has taught people. Christianity has taught you that serving God is lip service. All you got to do, and they misrepresent the Bible by pulling, cherry picking these verses out of the Bible to try to say, well, all you got to do is confess that you love God, and that'll show God that you love him. When a man that beat the hell out of his wife day in and day out can say, I love you, baby, but that woman know good and goddamn well that man don't love her. So we know that love is not a word that you can say to somebody, and that's what true love is. So if you want to prove to the Most High that you love him, it's in this Bible. It'll show you how to do that. And what you're going to find out is, it's the topic of today's class, which is obedience. What we're going to find out is Judith understands the role of the Most High, and she understands what we can gain from serving the Lord. Let's read it. All right. Let's read it. Let's read Judith. This is the 9th chapter of Judith in the Apocrypha, and we're going to read starting at verse 12. It says, I pray thee, O God of my father, and God of the inheritance of Israel, Lord of the heavens and earth, creator of the waters, king of every creature, hear thou my prayer. And make my speech and deceit to be their wound and stripe, who have purposed cruel things against thy covenant, and thy hallowed house, and against the top of Zion, and against the house of the possession of thy children, and make every nation and tribe to acknowledge that thou art the God of all power and might, and that there is none other that protecteth the people of Israel but thou. And that's the part I want to focus on. That part is what I want to focus on. There is none other that protecteth the people of Israel but thou. That's what we keep the commandments for. We keep the commandments as a trade. It's an exchange. We keep the Lord's commandments, the Lord will give us his protection. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand, like, even when you go, one of the bedrock precepts that we always go to in the truth, right, is Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Deuteronomy the 28th chapter is how we understand who the children of Israel are today. All right. Deuteronomy 28 is a prophetic chapter in the Bible that explains the curses and the blessings that would come upon the children of Israel. But you know, it was all dependent on whether or not we kept the commandments of the Most High. So now, when you go into that, you find out that the Lord's covenant with Israel, which is the sister Judith mentions it here. She mentions that covenant, right? These heathens, they have what does it say? Purposed cruel things against the covenant of the Most High. How? By going against the laws that the Most High has set. See, this is the covenant between the Most High and the children of Israel. The Lord says, keep my laws, statutes, and commandments. Matter of fact, let's pull it up real quick. It's a lot. Let's pull it up. I'd rather show you than tell you. All right, we're going to Deuteronomy 28. I wasn't planning on bringing this out, but we'll do it real quick, just because the Bible can say it better than I can. All right, this is the covenant. I'm gonna read it now. Deuteronomy 28 chapter, the first verse. It says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth." That's number one. When we go to Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, a lot of times we don't read the blessings. We always go to the curses because that's what our people are experiencing today. But that's the covenant that the Lord made with the children of Israel. If you keep all my laws, my statutes, and my commandments, I will set you on high. I will bless you. But now, as we read on down, which is where we end up, is Deuteronomy the 15th chapter. Deuteronomy 28 and the 15th verse. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." See, that's the covenant. The covenant with the Most High is, you do what I say, you obey me, and I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to protect you. I'll give you everything you want, just like a good father does to a good child. A good father is going to tell his child, hey, these are the rules. These are the regulations. These is what I'm going to tell you to do. These are your chores. This is how you're going to do this. These are the grades you're going to get. This is how you're going to behave yourself. If you do that, I'll buy you whatever games you want. I'll buy you that new game system that you always wanted. I'll buy you those games. I'll buy you that television that you like. I'll buy you 16. Oh yeah, I'll buy you a brand new car, whatever you want. But if you don't obey me, I'm gonna make your life hell in this house. I'm gonna double the chores on you. I'm gonna double your hardship. You are not gonna be able to watch any television. That phone that you like so much, you're not gonna be able to play on that phone. That video game, you're not gonna be able to play on it. I'm gonna take everything away from you. Well, that's the same way that the Lord operates, because he's a father as well, just on a bigger scale. So now the Lord, That's the covenant with the Lord and the children of Israel. You obey me, I'll give you everything you want. You disobey me, I'm going to take everything from you, including protection. Because you disobey a father enough, he'll kick you the hell out of his house. And now your father can't protect you outside of his house, outside of his authority. So now you'll be subject to the world out there. And that's what the Lord did to us. The Lord kicked us. Well, really, we left out of the Lord's house, right? Because we decided that we didn't want to be under the Lord's authority. We wanted to be under our own authority and make our own decisions. And that's why we left that protection. This is so important. What we just read in Judith, the 9th chapter, is so important because she said when she prayed to the Most High that there is none other that protected the children of Israel but thou. Talking about the Most High God. That's important. Y'all got to understand that. If you come to serve the Lord, you should understand that there is nobody that can protect you except to be for the Lord. The police can't protect you. Your friends can't protect you. Your family can't protect you. Only the Most High God. Now, Judith understood that. Let's read this real quick. Let's go real quick in the book of Romans. Because there's another reason why we have to understand what the Lord is saying here in Exodus, the 23rd chapter. What the Lord is saying here is that if you follow him, the Most High will make your enemies his enemies. The Most High said that if you follow him, he will make your adversaries his adversaries. These things, see, a lot of times people look at the laws that the Most High has given to the children of Israel as a burden. A lot of times people look at like, damn, I can't do this and I can't do that. A lot of people feel oppressed. Like, and they think that we're oppressed. They like, damn, y'all are like Christians. They will say, they will say that we're burdening ourselves by keeping the law because we're denying ourselves the grace of Jesus Christ. So now they think it's such a big deal that we can't eat pork. They think it's such a big deal that we can't celebrate Christmas. They say all of those things to us because they look at the directive of the Most High and the order of the Most High as some sort of burden. But these things are set in place to give us order. I think we taught this a few weeks ago, maybe like 4 or 5 weeks ago. That we talked about the purpose of the law. And the purpose of the law is to give us order because without order, we're going to fall apart. Every nation needs order. Without order, you fall apart. So the Lord gets some. This is my point. The Lord gave the children of Israel these laws, statutes, and commandments not to burden us, but to help us. And we're going to read that in just a second. We're going to read that in Romans, the 3rd chapter. We'll pull it up on the screen. So this is Romans, the 3rd chapter. And we'll right at the first verse. All right. Paul jumps into it. He says, what advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? If you know anything about the laws of the Bible, you understand that circumcision was a covenant that the Most High made with Abraham, and it spilled into the law of Moses, which is part of the covenant of the Most High between the Most High and the children of Israel. That's a law in the Bible that all of the male children have to be circumcised on the 8th day. And Paul's asking this question: what advantage is it to be an Israelite, and what's the profit of keeping the law? What's the profit of that? What do we gain from that? Verse 2 says, much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. What is the oracles of God? The oracles of God is this Bible, is the laws, the statutes, the commandments. And Paul, which so many Christians run to try to disprove us, actually proves our point that the law is our strength. The law is our power because the Lord gave us those things for our benefit, not his. Now, everybody can understand the creator of the heavens and earth and the universe doesn't need human beings to serve him. He don't need, he could snap his fingers and all of us would be turned into powder. He can snap his other finger and he can make us do whatever the hell he wants us to. You know, the Lord could have created robots. We understand that. The Lord could have created just these beings that were not sentient that just they do whatever the hell they're programmed to do. The Lord could have did that if that's what he wanted. But he wanted the children of Israel, the people that he chose, to seek him out. And instead of the Lord having to weed us out, we'll weed ourselves out. So, but this is what you do have to understand. What you do have to understand is that the Most High gave us these laws to help us, not to help him. The Lord don't need your service. He's not a being that feeds off of the service of humans. We're the ones that feed off of the service to the Most High God, because keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, there's power in it. Just like how in Exodus, the 23rd chapter, the Lord said that he would be an enemy to our enemies, and nobody would be able to touch us if we obeyed the Most High. There's power in that. And so many people want to take that away from you. So many people want to take that away from the children of Israel. The law is our power, and Christianity wants to take away the law and say the law is done away with. So you got to understand that the Most High gave you these things not to harm you, but to help you. Let's read this real quick. Matter of fact, I wasn't going to pull this out, but let's read Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. Because it's another thing. You got to understand the Lord put these things in here for a reason. Let's read this. So Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Let's see, is that on the screen? There you go. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Understand that the Lord gave us these things because the other nations don't have them. When you read Psalms, the 147th chapter, you'll find out that the Lord didn't deliver no type of laws, no instruction, no structure to anybody besides the children of Israel. The Lord only deals with the children of Israel. And these laws and statutes and commandments are a sign between the Lord and us that we know the Most High and the Most High knows us. And there is none other that the Lord is dealing with. We find that in Amos, the 3rd chapter. The Lord only punishes the children of Israel for breaking the laws because the laws was only given to us. All right. So understand that. Now, what we see here, though, is that the Lord is saying, well, this is really Moses speaking, but this is the intention of the Lord, right? That we keep and do the commandments, for this is our wisdom and our understanding in the sight of all of the nations. Let's continue reading, right? As we keep going, it says, which shall hear these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? That's a beautiful thing. Y'all got to understand this. We got to take this slow for a second. You got to understand the power in what we just read. Because what we just read is the other nations that don't have God, that don't have the laws, that don't have the statutes and the commandments and the rules that the Most High has set up. They're going to look at us when we keep these commandments and they're going to say, this nation is a wise and understanding people. And you know how we know this? Because what other nation is there so great that has God so near unto them? Because the Lord is with us in all things that we call on him for. But how do we earn that? How do we get that in the first place? Is the Lord doing that for us right now? As Black, Hispanic, and Native American people in America, you can pray to the Lord 30 times a day and still not get what you want. You know why? Because you're a sinner in America. And America has taught you to reject your God. America has taught you that Jesus Christ is white and he forgives you no matter what you do. And that's just not the gospel. That's not the truth. America has decided your God for you. But according to the Bible, there's only one way that you can serve the Most High. In America, there's about 500 different ways that you can serve God. Even within Christianity, even within Christianity, there's 100 sects of Christianity. You got your Baptists, your Southern Baptists, your Lutheran. You got all of these different things. All these different ways to serve God, when according to the Bible, there's only one true way to serve the Most High. But America will take your wisdom, that the Lord would impart to you. He's going to take that from you. He's going to take what we just read, that power that you get from serving God. America is going to take that from you because they're going to tell you you don't have to keep the law. They're going to tell you that that God is for white people too. They're going to tell you that Jesus Christ is a white man. That's the problem. And that's why we go so hard in here in the UPK against these other religions, because these religions are trying to take your power from you. Because what we just read in Deuteronomy 4 is that when we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, other nations are going to be looking at us like they got God real close to them, because everything that they call on the Most High for, they get. And that will make nations afraid of us. And that's why America has kept you the way that they've kept you. They keep you as far away from God as possible because they know, and this is also in the book of Judith, right? They know that if we keep the laws of the Most High, the Lord will be on our side. See, the nations know something that you don't know. The nations know who the true God of Israel is. They know. They know they can't give you that God. They can't allow you to have that God, to serve that God, because they know that the power will be taken and stripped from them and given to us. And they won't allow that. That's why Christianity is pushed so hard. That's why Islam is pushed so hard. Farrakhan is a goddamn plant. Islam is pushed upon black people so much because the longer we stay worshiping that stupid goddamn stone, which is what the Bible calls it, a dumb stone, as long as we continue in Islam, we're going to stay far away from the Most High and the blessings that the Lord God has for us. So as much as white people want to say, oh, Farrakhan's racist, this, that, and the third, it don't matter. They still will push him in the forefront because it's going to still keep you away from the God of Israel. They're gonna keep you away from the Most High God of Israel because that's where you get your power from, your protection. Remember, we're talking about how you earn the Lord's protection. It's by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. If you want to lose the Lord's protection, if you want to continue the way that you've been in America, and you want to pray day in and day out for a blessing and never get one, then continue. Keep breaking the laws of God. But if you want to earn the Lord's protection, you're going to have to, what the Bible says, repent, which means that term repent means to turn away. You have to turn away from your sin and you have to come back to the laws. Because remember, the Lord being a father, yeah, you left his house and he let you leave because you didn't want to keep his rules. But that door is always open. The Lord said this, I think in the book of Isaiah, that he stretched his arms out to the children of Israel and he never retracted them. The Lord has kept his arms outstretched towards the children of Israel. And whenever you're ready, you can come back home. That's what the Lord said. The problem is you don't want to come back home. You like being with them niggas up the block selling dope. You like getting that dirty money. You like smoking weed with them cats up the street. Because that's the fun thing to you. Following rules and having structure and order. We hate structure and order as a people. So you don't want to do that. You want to do whatever the hell you want to do. Until you find out them niggas ain't your real friends. Until you find out that lack of structure is going to end you up dead or jammed up somewhere. And then, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be wishing, damn, I should have listened to my father. And you're going to want to come back to your father. And, you know, your father in the flesh, he might not forgive you. He might not let you come back into his crib because you done did too much wrong. But no matter how much wrong you do against the Lord said that he has his arms stretched out towards you. All you got to do is come back home. That door's still open. If you want that protection, you can still get it. You can still come back to the Most High. But you're going to have to follow these laws. You're going to have to follow his rules. You're going to have to do what the hell the Most High tell you to do. Otherwise, go ahead. Keep living the life you've been living. And your life will consistently be in turmoil. Let's continue on, right? Continue on. All right. This is let me see. This is verse 9. So Deuteronomy 4:9 says, "Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them to thy sons and thy sons' sons, because this is another thing that we have a problem with. Moses is addressing the children of Israel in Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, the same children of Israel that watched the Lord open up that Red Sea and close it on the Egyptians, that watched the plagues that happened in Egypt. All of the things that happened in the wilderness, the manna that came from heaven, all of these things, the miracles that they've been shown, and Moses still had to say, lest thou forget. You know why? Because us as a people, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know what it is with us? We quick to forget. That's why the Lord calls us stiff-necked. That's another term for hard-headed. Because we quick to forget. We forget what the Lord did for us. You forget how the Most High protected you. And all of the times you should have been dead and the Lord protected you, saved you. He kept watch over you. You forget all about that. As soon as you hit a little obstacle in the road, you forget that the Most High paved that road for you. As soon as you got to do a little bit of work, you forget that the Lord was the one that did all of the work for you. And then you go back and you revert to the person that you was and don't give a damn about the service of the Lord. That's why Moses had to say, lest you forget. That demon comes on some brothers and some sisters that came into this truth and then left. You come into this thing and it's such a beautiful thing. You see how the Lord has transformed you, and you let demons jump up on you and you leave out of here, and those demons come 5 times worse than they was before you was in this school. And you're going to lose everything that you gained and then some. You'll be worse off than before you came in this school. You know why? Because you quick to forget. You forgot about the miracles that you've seen performed in here. You forgot about those things. You forgot about how amazing it was to come into this truth and be beautified in the sight of the Lord. You forgot about that over something stupid and silly. Well, that's us as a people. It ain't just happening here. It happens everywhere. It's been happening since the inception of time. People saw the Most High use Moses to split that Red Sea. And then people almost immediately said, we're going to worship another God. We're going to take these earrings out of our ears, take these bracelets off of our wrists, and we're going to melt this gold down into a golden calf and worship that and say that that was the Lord that delivered us out of Egypt. That's how stiff-necked and stupid we are according to the Bible, according to God, according to history, according to these records. So if you think you any better than them, you should think again. And you should watch your foot, because that's what's in us. You are these same ancestors that you read about in this Bible. You these same people, the same stiff-necked generation. You've just been regenerated back into this earth. And you got to watch your foot. That's why Paul says it best. The things that were written aforetime were written for our learning. You got to learn from your mistakes. You got to learn from your mistakes or learn from the mistakes of others. Otherwise, you're going to end up in that jam, and you're going to lose the protection that the Lord has to offer for you. That what we read in Exodus, the 23rd chapter, is so heavy. I don't think a lot of people realize it. When you serve the Most High will make your enemies his enemies. I don't care about being your enemy. I don't care. You a man. You could die like me. But I definitely give a damn about being the enemy of the Most High God, because he's the creator of the heavens and the earth. So if the Lord is with you, I definitely don't want to be your enemy, because I don't want to be the enemy of the Most High God. He could take my breath away like that. You understand? He could make sure I go to sleep and don't kiss my kids goodnight and die in my sleep and never get to wake up. He could do that to me. So what I'm telling you is if you want that type of protection, you got to earn it. And the only way that you earn it is what we're reading about, which is the obedience of the Most High. All right. So now, let's get a little bit more on this, all right? Get a little bit more on this. Let's do this. Now, we're going to get into Christ a little bit, right? Because we've been in the Old Testament a whole lot. A lot of people have a problem with us being in the Old Testament. I usually say the so-called Old Testament. This whole Bible is a testament to the service of the Lord. But I understand Let's get it real quick. Luke, the first chapter. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people don't like that we don't, if we don't bring up enough New Testament scriptures, they get upset with us. This Bible is all one gospel. When you, just a side note, while I'm finding the scripture, when you see Christ even telling you what the gospel is, he's quoting Isaiah, he's quoting the Old Testament. So, this whole Bible is one testament of the Lord. Excuse me. Let's get it. We're going to be in Luke, the first chapter. We're going to be in Luke, the first chapter. Give me just a second. Let's get it. Luke, the first chapter, we're going to start off at the 68th verse. All right. This is Luke chapter 1 and verse 68. It says, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people." This is talking about the birth of Jesus Christ. All right, just to give you a quick backstory on this is talking about the birth of Jesus Christ. And the birth of Jesus Christ is a sign that the Lord has sent a redeemer for the children of Israel. And so that's why this is being said here. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people by the birth of Yahushua Mashiach. Verse 69 says, "And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began." This is just a reference to the fact that the Most High has prophesied about the coming of Jesus Christ since the beginning of time. Chiefly, we find it a lot in the book of Isaiah and things like that. But let's continue on verse 71. "That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us." Now, how do you get this? Because remember, this is still within the theme of what we're talking about today, right? Which is how to earn the Lord's protection. Well, what we see here is the birth of Jesus Christ symbolizes the fact that Jesus Christ is going to be the one to deliver us out of the hand of our enemies. But you got to ask that question to yourself: do you deserve that redemption? Because when you go into the Bible, you find out that the Lord will not redeem everybody. We know that for sure, because when you go into the Bible, even in Christ's words, Christ said, "Those mine enemies that would not that I should reign over them, bring them before me and slay them." We also find that Christ said that when that time comes, that there will be people that come to Christ and say, "I've served you, I've loved you, this, that, and the third." And Christ's going to say, "Get thee hence from me, I never knew you." So we know not everybody's going to be saved. So we got to understand that there's only certain people who are going to earn this redemption. Because yes, Christ did come to redeem the children of Israel and to save Israel from out of the hand of Israel's enemies. But you got to earn that, because that's the Lord's protection. And in order to do that, in order for that to happen, you got to do something. Let's keep reading. Verse 72 says, "To perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham, that he would grant unto us, that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our lives." So what is this salvation contingent on? It's contingent on your service based off of that covenant that we read about. When you go into, we read it a little bit earlier in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. The first verse let us know in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, if you serve the Most High with all your might, with all your strength, and you obey all of his commandments, his laws, and his statutes, that the Most High will set you high above all the nations and will bless you so much that those blessings will overtake you. But if you don't, drop down to that 15th verse, if you don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High and do and observe all of them, the Most High will set curses upon you, so much so that they will overtake you. And that's that covenant that the Lord made with the children of Israel. So when we reading this, Jesus Christ was sent to the children of Israel to redeem Israel based off of that covenant. If you don't put yourself in that covenant by keeping that covenant, then Christ didn't come to save you. Christ will not save you. Because we read about this. When Christ returns, there's going to be a lot of death. And there are going to be thousands of people that claim to love Christ, claim to love the Most High, claim to serve God. But if they're not doing what the Lord said to do, you're going to fall under that same punishment that the nations are going to fall under, which is imminent death. America's going to be destroyed with thermonuclear warfare. And many of the nations round about and across the globe are going to die the same way and by the slaughter of Christ. You'll fall under that same destruction if you live like them. Because the other nations, they're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's part of what Revelation, the 18th chapter say. They not keeping the commandments. They not, because they was never given those commandments. And if you decide to align yourself with them, and you decide to say, I'm not going to serve the Lord, I'm going to be right next to these people doing this, well, you'll suffer the same plagues as them. You'll fall under the same plagues and suffer from those same plagues as them. But as for those of us that have decided that we're going to come back to the covenant of the Most High God, that mercy that the Lord said that he would perform to the children of Israel, that'll apply to us, Lord willing. That will apply to the children of Israel that come back to that covenant that our forefathers have left. You understand? Let's read this real quick. I gotta read this. We're gonna close out in just a minute, but I do gotta read this, right? I always go to Psalm the 91st chapter because we're talking about the Lord's protection. Now, those of us that's been through the Hebrew Academy know a whole lot about this scripture here, right? But we're gonna read it, Psalm the 91st chapter. This is probably one of my this is my favorite psalm out of the Psalms of David. Because this right here, we got to understand something. The Most High will give you the protection, but you got to earn it. But once you earn that protection, it's unlike anything else. Once again, Judah said that there is none other that protected the children of Israel but the Most High. You could try to find protection in, running with a gang. You could try to find protection by running with the United States military. You could try to find protection in voting. You could try to find protection with a lot of things. But there's only one true protector of the Most High God. Of the children of Israel, and that is the Most High God. Let's read this. Psalms the 91st chapter and the first verse. It says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust." That's what you got to understand. If you want to abide under the shadow, what does a shadow represent? A shadow represents protection, shade from the elements. Well, if you want to abide under the shadow of the Most High God, you have to dwell in the Lord's secret place. What does that mean? Dwelling in the Lord's secret place, you have to obey the Most High. That's how you achieve that. You have to obey the Most High God. And we see David saying, "I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust." Let's keep reading. Verse 3 says, "Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings thou shalt trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler." We understand that the Most High, we have to understand this. The Most High is going to protect you, but only if you yield to his protection. And the only way you could do that is by obeying him, by obedience to his laws and his statutes and his commandments, right? The scriptures say that the Most High's laws are his truth. And now we see here in the book of Psalms, his truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Verse 5 says, "Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday." You got to understand, This isn't even just talking about the protection of the Lord. This is talking about the confidence that it puts in a brother or a sister that knows they have the protection of the Lord. Because we just read that you won't even be afraid of any of these pestilences. You won't be afraid of these things. No, you won't be afraid of that terror that come by night or the arrow that flieth by day. You won't even be afraid of these things. Why? Because you know the Lord is going to shield you. You know the Lord is going to protect you. But you can only obtain that type of confidence if you know you're doing right by the Lord. A lot of people don't have that confidence. A lot of people don't have the confidence that the Lord is willing to protect them because you know you haven't been doing enough to serve the Lord. You know you have not earned his protection. So that's part of why I wanted to go into Psalms 91, because this isn't just talking about the protection. It's talking about the confidence that you could have if only you were sure that you were serving the Most High God properly. Let's continue reading. Verse 7 says, 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. That's another important thing, because remember when we read up, it says you won't be afraid of the arrow that flieth by day. Why aren't you going to be afraid of the arrow that flieth by day? Because 1,000 people will fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand. Everybody around you will get struck by them arrows, but they're all going to pass over you. Why? Because you serve the Lord, because you have earned the Lord's protection. Verse 8, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Remember, we just read in Exodus, the 23rd chapter. Remember, that's how we started out? And the Lord said that he was going to give an angel charge over the children of Israel as they went to get that Holy Land, as they were going to come up against all of these nations that had more people, more power, more numbers than them. The Lord said, I'm going to set my angel before you to keep you in the way. And as long as you obey that angel, I'm going to make your enemies my enemies. I'm going to make your adversaries my adversaries. And ain't nobody going to be able to touch you, man. Well, here we see it again in the book of Psalms 91. The Lord said he's going to give his angels charge over you to keep you in all of your ways. You understand? And that's really what I wanted to get the point of. That's what I wanted to really make sure I honed in on that point, because we can take this thing back full circle. You understand? The Lord will give his angels charge over you, and ain't nothing going to be able to touch you, man. But you have to earn that. If you make the Lord your habitation, then the Lord will not allow anything to harm you, just like a good father. A good father is not going to let nothing happen to his children. But in order to have the protection of that good father, you got to be willing to submit to that father's protection. And submitting to the Most High God's protection means that you have to follow his rules, which are his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. That's the only way that you're going to have the protection that the Most High has to offer. The Lord is trying to help you, but you ain't letting the Lord help you. You're not letting the Lord help you at all because you want to be your own protector. You want to do your own thing. You don't think that you need the Lord's protection. But of course, we find all throughout the Bible that the only way that you can be shielded from death is if the Lord allows it. All right. So with that being said, that's just about it, man. I wanted to make sure we got that in. We're gonna go ahead and close this out. We'll go ahead and close this out. All right, with that, we're gonna close out with the prayers. I imagine, which means to stand. Panyagudan, which means to turn and face the east. All right. We're going to begin with the Lord's Prayer, beginning with the Hebrew. Avanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Natalanawa, Lacham, Ka Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Ka Wadnawa, Ka Salaknawa, Ka Wathinawa, Wala'ah, Tabayanawa, Badasai 1, Abal, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Watha Parah, Lawalamium, Aman. Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. The prayers for the power or the Akak in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Babakushai, Natalanawa Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Kal Maka'ala, Wakal Madawa, Hakak Latahar, Hamatazariah, Hakak, Lakwayam, Hamathim, Hakak, Al Rakawa, Atama'ala, Lagashan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. Prayers for the power in English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. These are the prayers to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Wa'ayashala, Wahabayat Saparyam, Wahabayat Saparyam, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. The prayers to bless Israel in English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharyam, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'im, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'aratazah, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Zazalka, Al-Yah, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarath, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Atnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ad, Awalam. Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yashala shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al Damayalaka.
Al-Dama Yabaka.
Al Thakarash.
Al-Bakarash.
Wa Al Thashakwat.
Al-Tashqat.
Al
Al.
Kayana.
Kayana.
Awa Yabyaka.
Al-Yabi.
Yahamaya 1.
Yawmaya 1.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al Imaka.
Al-Amr.
Ya'ara Yamwa.
Yawmam.
Sawada.
Sawada.
Wa Yatha.
Wayata.
Ya'itazawa.
Ya'atizawa.
Al Tazapawanyaka.
Al-Tazawandi.
Amarwa.
Amar.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakidam.
Wayakadam.
Magoya.
Magalia.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Iwada.
Ayuda.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawaitazawa.
Ya'atizawa.
Laba.
Laba.
Yakhadwa.
Yakad.
Al Yaka.
Al-Yaka.
Baryath.
Baywa.
Yakarathwa.
Yakwa.
Ahawya.
Al-Yaka.
Arawam.
Adawam.
Wayashamayalayam.
Yashma'al.
Mawa Abba.
Baba.
Wahagarya.
Wagari.
Gabal.
Baba.
Waima 1.
Waimam.
Waimalak.
Wamalak.
Palashah.
Palashah.
I'm Yeshebya.
Yeshab.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gamashawar.
Namashawar.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Imam.
Amar.
Ayawa.
Aywa.
Zarwai.
Aywa.
Labani Lawat.
Imam Muwat.
Salah.
Salah.
Ashalaham.
Ashalaham.
Kamadya.
Madi.
Kasaya.
Kasaya.
Sara'ah.
Sarawat.
Kayabyan.
Kadyali.
Manakha.
Manakar.
Kwayashwan.
Washington.
Nashamadwa.
Ashimab.
Bayan.
Bayan.
Dara.
Dara.
Ayawa.
Aywa.
Daman.
Dama.
La Adama.
Dahama.
Shayathamwa.
Shayatama.
Nada.
Nada.
Yabmawa.
Yabnawa.
Ka'ira.
Ka'ira.
Wakaza Abba.
Kasa'ab.
Wakaza Bach.
Kasabak.
Wakaza Zal.
Kasa'ab.
Mana'ai.
Mana'ai.
Kal.
Kal.
Nasaya Kamwa.
Kasa'ab.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Nair Rashah.
Nash.
Lanawa.
Nahai.
Ath.
Ah.
Na'awath.
Nawat.
Allahayim.
Alahai.
Alahaya.
Alahai.
Shayathamwa.
Shayatama.
Kagalgala.
Galga.
Kakwash.
Kwash.
Lapanya Rakah.
Panarukah.
Ka'ash.
Sha'ash.
Tabaira.
Tabaira.
Ya'ira.
Ya'ira.
Wakalahaba.
Talahaba.
Talahat.
Talahab.
Aryam.
Arya.
Khan.
Khan.
Tharadapma.
Taradam.
Basa'iraka.
Sa'ir.
Wabasa.
Wabasa.
Wapathka.
Wapath.
Tabahalam.
Tabalaham.
Mala'a.
Talahab.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kwalawan.
Kalawat.
Wayabakwashwa.
Kwash.
Shamka.
Shimka.
Yahawa.
Yahawah.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahawa.
Wabahawah.
Ayai.
Ayai.
Wayakaparwa.
Kapar.
Wayabadwa.
Apad.
Wayadaiwa.
Adai.
Kayatha.
Kayata.
Shamka.
Shimka.
Yahawa.
Yahawah.
Labadka.
Labad.
Ayawan.
Alonam.
Alkal.
Alkal.
Ha'aratazah.
Ha'aratazah.
Psalms the 83rd chapter in English. Keep not thou silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
And be not still, O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult.
thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee are lifted up their head.
And they have thee to lift up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden
And
ones.
consulted against thy people.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
let them cut them off the nation.
That the name of Yashala
The name of Yahshua
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no longer remembered.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against
the
you.
tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacle of Egypt
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
and Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Nabal,
and Ammon,
and
and Amalek,
Amalek,
the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asor also is joined with them.
So also joined with them.
They have opened the children of Lot.
They have opened the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
So unto them as unto me,
as to Sisera,
and as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kasan,
and build the son,
which perished at Endor.
and which perished in Israel.
They became as dung for the earth.
They came down for the earth.
Made their nobles like a reb,
Like the river.
and like Zeeb. Yea, all their princes as Zabah,
all their princes of Gabah,
and as Zamunah,
and as Amunah,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to
let
ourselves
us take to ourselves
the houses of God
the houses of God
in possession.
in possession.
O my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as something before the wind,
as the fire burneth the
as
wood,
the fire burning the wood,
and as the flame setteth the mountains on
and
fire.
as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
and make them afraid with thy storms.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name,
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
Oh Yahweh,
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish,
let them be put to shame and perish.
that men may know that thou,
And let me know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
are the most high over all the earth.
of the Most High over all the earth.
We're going to read the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Mayaga Allah,
Wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahai,
Patazab Yah,
Wa Tazab Yah,
Allah Wap Yahana,
Allah Bihana,
Allah Wapyam,
Allah Wapi,
Asaranya,
Asurani,
Akwatazayanya,
Wa Tazayani,
Achaya Yayam,
Apaya Yah,
Wa Hagwathim,
Wa Wati,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba Shem Yahushai,
Hashem Yahshai,
Wa Rahman.
Wa Amen.
In English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohanan. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you. So be it.
Thank you, so be it.
I'll close out with a courtesy salute to close out the Sabbath service. Rahmat Shabbat. Amadim. Farak. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakam. Yadi Matah. Bismillah.